When I spoke about the power of the market and the power of commercialization, I was very struck. The Monitor Group, who you will know well, has been doing some research in many parts of the world into this idea of impact investment and breaking in through this, using business power for social ends, to the bottom of the pyramid. And they have found that there are some really interesting and powerful and potential models. We all know about the Grameen Bank and the success of the microfinance innovation. What they pointed out, however, was that it took 20 years for the microfinance industry to move and start to empower communities and groups, particularly of women, and that microfinance couldn't get traction until more than $20 billion had been invested to build that foundation in philanthropy. So the exciting thing for me is there is a future for CSI. There is a future for philanthropy. There is a future for grant making between funders and project deliverers, because it's also about creating the base conditions in which the market can then operate. And this quote, I think, sums it up, that if we're really going to realize the power of the market in fighting poverty, it's going to need more philanthropy, not less. And that, for me, as someone who values the kinds of things that private money can achieve, is a hugely empowering and exciting perspective. And the reason for that is that philanthropy has a broader perspective, and it is a different kind of foundation building. And interestingly enough, it in a way has a stronger tolerance for risk and the willingness to embrace complex problems. So what are we talking about when we talk about the future relationship? Because that's what sustainability is partly about, between corporates and NGOs. Well, it is an awkward embrace, and we know that. And I have often remarked to NGOs who've said to me, oh, you know, we would be so much better off if we just had a big endowment. We didn't have to worry about all these proposals and partnerships and trying to work together with the corporates. And I said to them, you know, if NGOs didn't have corporates, you'd have to invent them. Because corporates don't only bring money to the table. And of course they do bring money, and that's maybe the wrong part of the conversation to start with. But without that corporate partnership, NGOs wouldn't have the reach. They wouldn't be challenged strategically. It would be quite a complacent and comfortable life. And we wouldn't be pushing the edge of the envelope together in the way that we are. So I strongly believe that if NGOs didn't have corporate social investment partners to talk to, we would have to invent them, because we need them badly, and we need them for a whole lot more than money. Equally, though, I believe corporate social investment needs NGOs. It needs NGOs as a partner into reality, as a mirror of reality, because this can be an extraordinarily isolated space. And you may say, I understand it's isolated for NGOs, but is it isolated for CSI? And the answer is yes, because you get trapped and drawn into your corporate cocoon. And you need to understand there's a wider world, and it's a harsh world. So, yes, it's an awkward embrace. We work in the same space. We sometimes think we have the same agenda, and then we bump up against each other, as we spoke earlier about some of the partnerships. Money always complicates relationships, but we need each other, we need to understand each other, and we need to be talking to each other more.